To make your painting inspired by Alma Woodsey Thomas, first start by writing your name on the back of your paper. Don't forget to write your class code below your name. And first we're going to start by tracing a circle somewhere on our paper. Your artwork could be landscape style or portrait style. Either way works. I'm going to make mine portrait style and put my circle sort of in the upper right corner. Alma Woodsey Thomas likes to start with a shape, and it's often a circle, and they're not always in the middle of the paper. It gives your artwork a little more variety if the circle is a little bit off center. So maybe up in the corner or in a corner below. And then we're going to start painting. You'll need a messy mat, paints, a water cup, and a paintbrush. I'm going to be using a flat-edged brush because we see these marks in Alma Woodsey Thomas's art. She has these sort of rectangular dashed lines that we can achieve with using a flat-edged brush. You can choose to use either the neon tempera cakes for this project or the regular watercolors. You could also use a little bit of both. So first we're going to pick a color to paint our circle in, and think about the pattern of colors that you're going to use for the rest of your painting. So I think I'm going to make mine a rainbow pattern, but you could do something like all cool colors, all warm colors, or a different pattern of colors that you like. When you're doing this, you want to get a lot of color on your brush. So I'm really swirling my brush around on the pink here, and I'm going to paint in my circle. So I'm starting on the edge and I'm painting very slowly and carefully to fill in that circle shape. The more color you get on your brush, the more vibrant your painting will be. You don't want it to be very light and hard to see. So we want to get a lot of color on our brush. And then I'm carefully painting in the center of the circle as well. And I'm using a brush stroke that goes up and down. I don't want it to look too messy. It helps it look neater if you keep your brush going in the same direction. Now I'm going to rinse off my brush and I'm going to start the first row of color. So I'm going to use a rainbow pattern. So I'm going to switch over to using the pink in the watercolors because that one is a little bit darker than the neon pink that I used at first. So I got a lot of color on my brush. You can test it on your messy mat to make sure that you like the way it looks. And then we're going to start by painting dashed lines very close to that circle shape. The flat edge brush will really help you create this shape. Notice how close my lines are together. There's very little space in between, but it is a little bit of a broken line. So we do want that little bit of white space in between. So I'm going to keep following the circle shape until I finish. And I'm going slowly so that this looks neat. This should not be something that you go really fast with like this. That could look a little bit sloppy and it wouldn't really look like Alma Woodsey Thomas's style. So we want to take our time to make this look our very best. When the color feels a little bit light, you can just dip back into the paint and get a little bit more. If you feel like you don't like the shape of any of the dashed lines, you can go back over them and make them look a little bit better or darker. I finished one row of color, so I'm going to keep going with that color and I'm going to do one more row of this dark pink. But you could choose to change your colors or do 2 or even 3 rows of a color. And I'm going to keep following this circle shape. So I've reached the edge of my paper with my last red dashed line. So with my next color, I'm going to paint it as if it goes off of the page. I'm adding just a little bit of this neon red, so it looks like it's going off the page, and I'm going to continue my pattern of going around the circle even though I've run out of paper on that side. So I'm just pretending that my line continues and I'm going to keep filling it in. Now I've gotten to the corner here with my orange line. So I'm going to do just a small dash of this neon orange, and then I will pretend that line continues and go around to the other side of the paper and continue my dashed line with this color there. Remember, the less water that you have on your brush and the more paint, the more bright and vibrant your colors will be. So you really don't need a lot of water until your brush starts to feel scratchy or a little bit sticky. Then you can dip it back in the water and just get a little bit more. We want our colors to really show up on the paper because the artist Alma Woodsey Thomas is known for her very colorful, bright paintings. Okay, so I'm all done with my Alma Woodsey Thomas painting because the dashed lines I painted go all the way out to the edges and the corners. When you're done, put yours on the drying rack with your messy mat underneath to dry. Then you can put your paints away and take your water cup and your paintbrushes to the sink. I hope you had fun learning about the artist Alma Woodsey Thomas. I can't wait to see how your painting inspired by her turns out.